just pretty much a traditional Green River boat. It's what all the old timers, when I was growing up, fished out of. It's far back as I can remember, there's boats like this on Green River and Little Barren, and today is going to be the first day we actually put them on the river. I did cheat, float mine on the pond a little bit just to make sure it didn't leak.
What's the history of this particular boat?
Well, this particular boat, we built these boats the weekend, July 4th. We've been talking about building a boat for a couple years. Everybody gets ready to build a boat, they don't have any seasoned gunnels to build the sides out of. That's usually the problem. The gunnel is the board that you make for the side. They're called the gunnels. We got the pattern from a gentleman named Varnum Cook over in the Nansburg section of Greene County, and he lived on the river there all his life, and he said if we wanted a boat that would float and paddle, that he had the pattern, and that's where we went over and originally started building them from.
You know how many times when I was a kid, I'd see these tied up on the bank?
Right.
How many, you know, I'm talking about up in Mason County and just anywhere there was, you know, on Licking River, and I'd always see them, be fascinated by them, but I don't, you know, I've never fished out of one. Green sunfish. Scourge of the waterway. Uh-oh. There's a smallmouth, looks like. There's a rock bass. Rock bass. Nothing?
Kentucky.
That's a Kentucky. That's all right.
When I was little, I seen these boats, and my granddaddy, he had, back in the day, they had scalding troughs where they killed hogs. And it would never fail, when I would go up there, I'd have to get Granddaddy Poley to get his scalding trough out so I could paddle it on the pond. So even from when I was a small child, I always wanted a riverboat of my own. It was an art. I mean, not everybody back in them days could build a riverboat. And of course, back in those days, they didn't have the advantage of treated plywood that we have today. The glues and stuff weren't as good, so they just used a handful of brass nails and some pitch. Now, today, me and Eddie, it took us 2 days, 2 hard days to build these 2 boats.
Got involved with Barry, and he's a heat and cooling guy and got a little more engineer in him. So he said we're going to use Gorilla Glue. So we used Gorilla Glue and brass screws. He said let's put some brass screws in it. So we took brass screws and screwed it together and put the Gorilla Glue between it, and then took a nail gun and nailed between the screws. So he's got it secured to where if they wood duck hunt and they load the boat with people or wood ducks or whatever, that he thinks it'll hold together.
But we had an electric planer, a miter saw, and you know, all the tools that we have today, and it didn't take us as long. Those guys built them with a skill saw, and most of them just had a hand saw and a rasp or maybe a block planer.
Uh-oh, he's got me hung up.
You hung up?
There's a fish on there, and he swam under something.
Wait a minute, I'll back you up over there. Barry built his boat wider in the middle, wider in the back, wider in the front. He's trying to build him a battleship to duck hunt out of.
Wood duck hunting, of course, you've got 4 guys probably going to be in the boat. We've got shotguns, we've got ammunition. We need something that was real stable and real quiet, because those ducks, the least little movement, the least little noise is going to spook those ducks. So we needed something that was going to be real quiet. And you know, as you can see, you can hit the gunnel with a paddle here, and it's not going to echo all the way up and down the river.
That's a Kentucky wonder, Kentucky bass.
This is the first time we've actually had them on the water, and we hadn't turned over yet. It's been good and stable.
In a canoe, if you stand up, you're risking your life. In these boats, see?
Yeah, I mean, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Couldn't do that in a canoe.
I had not a very good paddler at all, but it seems to track real well. It don't draw much water. And
Tell you what, this boat ride's good. Now let me show you something. An old man taught me this years and years ago. Now I don't have a scull and paddle, but you can go down the river with one arm, thank goodness. I know how to do this. But sculling is basically, you never take the paddle out of the water. Slide it sideways, bring it forward, bring it around. You can adjust left and right by just pulling the water in and out. You can be real quiet. If you want to sneak up on a squirrel, sneak up on a wood duck. Of course, once you get close to them, you get no power to them. But this is a good, quiet way to get through the water. It only takes one arm.
They'll float shallow and they're quiet, and that's what everybody is looking for.
We're not touching now, are we?
No, we hadn't touched yet, Tim.
That's
We're not
unreal.
dragging. What is that, 4 inches? 6?
Maybe 6.
Yep.
Now, how much does a boat like this weigh? This one you said was about a little over 15 foot.
Yeah, it's 15 feet, 8 inches long, and it's about 11 inches deep. We started with a foot on the gunnels, and we've trimmed them down a little, and then they're 3/4 of an inch thick. But it don't weigh that much because I hadn't actually weighed it, but 2 people can get in the center of it, get it balanced, and you can pick it up and set it in the river, just like Jay and I done right back there. We just picked it up and set it in.
Are you up?
But I'm real pleased with my boat.
Most time, the looks you get from people that, if you're fishing on Little Barron, that's where we do most of the fishing, is that they just wish they had one.